Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about how to save money when you're planning your wedding. So if you want to save some money and you're interested in weddings, then keep watching. Okay, so you want to know 5 different ways on how you can save some money for your wedding? Here they are. Number 1, your guest list. Your guest list is where you end up spending most of your money. And that's just because it costs a lot to feed and to give alcohol to your guests. I've said this before in another video, but I'm going to use the same example. If you have 100 guests at your wedding and you're paying $150 per head, including food and alcohol, usually that covers a 3-course meal, then you're spending $15,000 just on your guests. So if you are struggling to meet your budget, then cutting your guest list is the easiest and most effective way to cut down your budget. Number 2, the next one is actually styling. Now, no one actually told me this at my own wedding, but now I'm passing on this gem of information to you guys, which is that you should only spend money on places your photographer is going to see, or spend money on styling items or any kind of flowers or anything decor related that your photographer is going to see. For example, at the ceremony space where you guys actually get married at the front of the aisle. You should spend more money on that and decorate that than say the back of the aisle when you first enter. And that's just because your wedding photographer is more likely to take photos of you at the front of the aisle than they are at the back of the aisle. It's also where your guests end up watching or looking or admiring a lot more, so just spend more money there. Also, I would highly suggest on spending a little bit extra on your florist or your stylist sticking around the ceremony so that they can transport styling items or flowers from the ceremony into the reception. So you're reusing things, it's environmentally friendly, and you haven't wasted any money, you're just reusing stuff. So tip there, definitely do that. Number 3, next thing you might want to save on is actually your wishing well. Now hear me out. You don't need to spend that much on a wishing well. It gets looked at maybe once or twice. Do you really need to purchase one? You can actually purchase a wishing well that's custom made and it's beautiful and it's high quality for about $300. You can even hire one for the same thing that's probably about $50. So maybe don't spend that much on a wishing well and just forego it or make your own. Check out the DIY bride sites that are on Facebook and see if anyone else is selling a wishing well or something like that. But I would highly suggest not purchasing one. Not for yourself. It's just not worth it. And those little costs make up a difference. You could save that $300 for actually spending another hour on the DJ. Number 4, now don't come for me for this, but if you're doing a budget wedding, maybe forego your guest book. And that's just because out of all the weddings I've been to and that I've run, nobody has filled out the guest book completely. And everyone just is dancing or taking photos or mingling or eating or drinking or something that they sometimes forget. And it's not because they don't love you or anything like that, it's just something that just doesn't cross their mind. So if you want to save a couple of bucks, definitely take it from your guest book. And number 5, it's just research. Everything comes down to research, having the time to research your wedding vendors, checking out their reviews, checking out their prices, checking out what work they've done, all that kind of stuff takes a lot of research. Because the best way to save you money is actually knowing what's out there in terms of wedding vendors. So if you have time to do that research, it's going to save you a lot more money because you get to weigh up your options and actually figure out whether spending this amount of money for this vendor is going to be better than spending this amount for this vendor. It actually gives you the opportunity to actually connect with your wedding vendors and perhaps actually see where in your budget you might be able to do some wiggle room to fit in a certain vendor that you really like that costs a little bit more. And maybe you can spend the time saving up the money for that vendor because you've done your research and you know what you're aiming for. But if you do your research, then you might actually find someone who's right for you and within your budget. So make sure to do your research and find time to do research because that's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learnt something. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe because you want to see more content from me. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.